When I first visited the ranch, the technician said to me, "Let's go measure the height of the cattle. Let's check out their heights and see if they're all well grown." I was surrounded by many cows. I weighed less than 60 kilograms, and a cow here weighs more than 600 kilograms. I was so nervous. What was I to measure? How tall?
143 centimeters.
Okay, 143 centimeters. I've studied for so long and received my master's degree, so I must have my specialty. Hey, Zhang, last month's records have been filed, right? There was a cow project undertaken by the Chinese and Israeli governments, and I worked as a translator for it. At that time, the milk yield of a cow was 2 or 3 kilograms per day, higher than last year's level. They suspected our feed formula was problematic, saying that the cows ate 5 kilograms of some feed that year and 3 kilograms the prior year. After giving birth, a cow's milk production drops with time. Empiricists who relied on the knowledge learned from their mentors tended to suspect the feed formula. After poring over a lot of resources, I realized it was the late stage of the lactation period of cows, and the production would recover after 60 days. In the case of us humans, our milk production is high in the 2 to 3 months after giving birth, but when a baby's almost 1 year old, our milk production is relatively low. The cows didn't give birth in time back then. After I found this issue, we introduced this indicator in statements in our system. Our overseas partners also said they felt relieved after learning this information. Look at these sparrows. They've stolen a lot of feed. Once you hear that I raise cows, you may naturally think, she's a cow herd. She feeds cows and then they produce milk. In fact, current methods of cow raising are not like what you think. One year, the owner of these ranches in Hubei said their cattle had poor appetites, but they didn't know the reason. So I asked them to check if the cow's nostrils were rounder than before. The cattle feel uncomfortable when it's hot. But they said it was May, and they were still wearing long sleeves, and it was not hot. I told them to turn on the fans and sprinklers in cow sheds and check the cattle's nostrils after an hour. Then they told me, hey, their nostrils did return to normal. What I say might sound quite basic, but it's all based on the knowledge I learned in school. In fact, with modern cattle breeding, we need to record lots of data about the cattle's butterfat, milk proteins, body cells, kinship networks, and other related information. All this data needs to be very accurate. Today, I'm going to introduce our high-yielding cows. I've been working to do something practical for Chinese dairy farmers with what I learned in the past 7 years. Although I'm not a master, I can be a specialist.